Tonight on NAIT News Watch.
Pothole season is back and creating an unwanted obstacle course for drivers.
Typically, we do about in a typical year, we do about 500,000 pothole repairs in a season.
White Ave gets taller with a new city building height approval.
It needs to struggle with. I think we need density everywhere, but the way you do density should be different in different contexts.
A very bright event brings awareness for mental health.
Wasted greens that dangle skinny from the boughs of trees.
Newswatch starts now.
Good evening. Spring has sprung here in Edmonton, and there are some up and downs to the new season.
The first day of spring was on Monday, and there were a lot of the usual signs of spring. Our Jessie Horrocks joins us with more on that story.
Thanks, guys. So I'm just off 118th Ave right behind Nate, and as you can see, the warm weather has left this road riddled with potholes, making an obstacle course for drivers.
They're not very good for vehicles, not really good for safe road conditions.
Risa Valley spends a fair share of time on Edmonton roads, commuting back and forth to work. Pothole season is something he's very familiar with.
I have some family members, some friends who have had vehicles damaged by potholes.
It happens every year. The snow melts, water leaks into the soil below the asphalt, and potholes start appearing. This has the city reminding drivers to be cautious and aware of their surroundings.
It's pothole season, so drive defensively. Making sure you give each other lots of distance between vehicles. People tend to, if they see a large pothole, they're going to hammer on the brakes. So give that space and take your time.
The city says so far this year they've seen a decrease in the number of potholes on the roads, with only 8,000 being filled so far this year compared to the 20,000 that were filled during the same time last year.
While potholes are an annoyance, there is a brighter side to the warmer weather. A local psychologist credits the longer days to giving people an extra spring in their step.
The sun gets to be higher in the sky, so we actually get a better part of the spectrum, the visible spectrum, coming at us. And what that does physiologically is it stimulates the brain to create serotonin, which is the happy brain chemical that helps us stay focused, gives us energy, helps us stay happy. So we actually get more stimulation of that in the spring and summer than we do in the fall and winter.
Another sure sign of spring, the Canadian geese returning home this week. An Edmonton weather expert says the geese are just in time for the welcome warm-up.
The average daytime high at the beginning of spring is 3. The average daytime high at the end of spring is 21. So you get almost a 20-degree swing in temperature from the beginning to the end.
Hopefully the warmer weather and the increased amount of sunlight will outshine the amount of potholes. But the city says that the crews will be out 24/7 to get the holes in the road fixed. If you see a pothole that needs to be fixed, call 311 or report it at edmonton.ca. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jessie.
That's our Jessie Horrocks reporting tonight.
You're watching NAIT News Watch.
City Council has given the green light for a developer to transform a vacant lot on White Ave into 2 high-rises. Debates over the development proposal had been going on for months, with the motion passing on Monday. The development plan is to build 2 high-rise residential buildings at 81st Avenue and 106th Street, and a pair of low-rise buildings, replacing a former car dealership lot on White Avenue and 106th. While the vote passed 10-2, some are still concerned about their impact.
High-rise opportunities were built into the plan from day one, and the community has been prepared for it to happen there. So this is now moving it to a place where they were looking for a medium rise in order to get a certain kind of feel on 99th Street. And that's my biggest concern, is that we don't undermine what's making 99th Street work right now.
The construction of the $250 million, 840-unit high-rise development project could be underway before the end of the year.
The introduction of the Friendship Bench at the University of Alberta was really bright, with the Yellow is for Hello campaign.
Hello!
Sam Fiorello is the founder of the Friendship Bench organization, which he created after he lost his son to mental illness. His goal is to create a place for people to talk and open up to their peers. Many people stop by the very Yellow event to grab a cupcake, a beverage, and a t-shirt, and learn more about the mental health and the Yellow is for Hello campaign.
We're shocked by the sheer number of kids that remain silent even though they're secretly suffering. And so this program was started to try and encourage more peer-to-peer conversation among students so that they will feel more empowered to then go ahead and speak to their parents or professionals and get the help that they need.
Many people grabbed a quick picture in the new benches, including Sam. His goal is to have a friendship bench in every post-secondary school across Canada.
A University of Alberta student has created an online campaign in an attempt to end discrimination towards Islamophobia. Jeremiah Ellis started the campaign in an attempt for his friends and classmates to feel better when at school, but it extends far beyond just that.
This has been Islamophobia and xenophobia, but that's part of the reason is because that's been the most prevalent case of hate we've been seeing right now. But I think the concept of world mosaic can be applied to very different things, because it's love and diversity. So I think
Ellis has been very successful in the project. He has hundreds of people posting on World Mosaic's social media, sharing pictures with the quote, "United we stand, divided we fall," including Mayor Don Iveson.
The countdown is on for Canada's 150th birthday. With 98 days to go until July 1st, the city has launched a fundraising campaign effort for the celebration. The campaign kicked off Wednesday, and the city's Canada 150 Celebrations Committee officially launched the Light a Candle for Canada that will be raising money for the three major projects: the Canada 150 Mosaic Mural, Paint the Rail, and the Canada 150 Tree Planting. Edmontonians are invited to light a candle for Canada by making a donation to support their development. These projects will include cultural, social, and capital projects that will be enjoyed for many years.
Is going to be planting some maple trees, Manitoba maples, as part of a grove. Another thing, we're going to really brighten up the LRT with young local artists. That's called Paint the Rails. And then the wonderful legacy project that people started participating in already in City Hall is the mural mosaic.
This community-led campaign will raise money to create lasting local legacies in honor of Canada's 150th anniversary of Confederation. Donations can be made online or by mail. Go to edmonton.ca/Canada150. The campaign will run until July 1st, 2017.
For the 6th consecutive year, NAIT has been recognized as one of Alberta's top employers. Alberta's Top Employers is an annual competition that recognizes 70 employers that offer exceptional places to work. NAIT has been named a top employer every year since 2012. NAIT was chosen for many reasons, including the on-site meditation, religious and quiet reflection rooms, as well as the workout facilities, squash courts, and basketball courts.
I would say I take for granted I play Saturday morning hockey every morning for free. I don't pay for that. I don't pay for a gym membership. I can go swimming if I want. I can go shoot basketballs. It kind of gives you that it's a job, but they care about the staff members.
Also noted was the encouragement NAIT places on employees to lead healthy, active lifestyles. NAIT offers health and wellness spending accounts, monthly staff wellness sessions, and things such as healthy eating, relationships, and mindfulness.
The Legislative Assembly of Alberta hosts a celebration in honor of International Francophonie Day. Canada is a member of La Francophonie, an organization made up of 63 states and governments using French as a common language. Aware of the importance of the French language and its historical influence, Canada celebrates its French heritage every year in the form of International Francophonie Day. This year, civilians, politicians, and students of all ages gathered at the legislature to celebrate.
By sharing your language through immersion programs, cultural centers, festivals, the Francophonie community has opened academic, social, and economic doors across Alberta.
International Francophonie Day provides an opportunity to celebrate not only the past, but the legacy of every Franco-Albertan who adds to the cultural landscape of our province and ensures that La Francophonie remains a vibrant and meaningful part of our future. International Francophonie Day falls annually on March 20th.
During a school election, you expect to see many students working hard campaigning for a spot, but a candidate at the University of Alberta is trying to paw her way in. Donut the Cat was one of the candidates for the University of Alberta presidential election. Even though Donut wasn't a real candidate, her owner David Scott believes she may have had a positive effect on the campaigning and the overall voter turnout.
Voter turnout's always pretty low in these students' union elections, and this year we actually broke a 15-year record, and I like to think that that's partially on account of Donut.
The student voter turnout at the University of Alberta increased by 7% in comparison from 2015, and Scott believes it should only go up from there.
Coming up after the break, a group of students at NAIT is making sure everyone gets some exercise.
A new initiative is coming to get students up and moving.
Prescribe exercise as medicine instead of just giving them a prescription to fill at your local drugstore.
This week in sports, NAIT Ooks take on the Grant MacEwan Griffins to battle out for ACAC supremacy. Edmonton holds their dodgeball qualifiers, and I try my hand at CrossFit.
Things are warming up as the first week of spring is wrapping up. I'll have all that and more in weather.
You know, Kira, I'm really happy that winter's over. The weather has been so nice.
Only downfall was I washed my car last week and then everything melted and it's back to being completely covered in dirt. What's it supposed to look like the next few days, Kyle?
Well, you know what? You might want to stay away from the car wash as it's going to be melting throughout for the next couple of days throughout the week. Well, looking at Calgary, we have a high of 9 and a low of 0 with a 30% chance of precipitation. If there's any snow that comes, it's going to be coming in the weekend, in the morning. Now looking on over to Jasper, we have a low of -4 and a high of 7 degrees with 30% chance of precipitation. It might snow in the morning, giving you guys some awesome snow for the slopes. And there's only a couple of weeks left in the season, so get out while you can. Looking on to Fort McMurray now, we have a low of -6 and a high of 3 degrees, 30% chance of snow. So you're probably going to see some snow in the morning when you wake up. You might have to go out and brush your cars. Now heading on over to Edmonton in the capital region, a low of -3 and a high of 5. Once again, 30% chance of snow. If there's any snow, it's going to be in the morning, so you don't have to wake up and brush off the snow before you go out for your day. And looking at the averages now, we have a low average temperature is -5 and a high of 5. So we're seeing it around that area, and over the next couple of days, it might be a little bit higher than normal average. Now looking at some records here, we had a record high of 16 degrees back in 1910 and a low of -32 in 1898. And that's a look at your forecast for Sunday. Thank you and have a good weekend.
Weather, brought to you by NR92, the station for the students.
Fitness isn't just about getting to the gym or spending hours a week. It can be just as easy as stepping outside and going for a walk around the block.
Exercise can be medicine, and there is a group on campus that wants every student to know the benefits of getting out from behind the desk. Jennifer Ray reports.
Exercise is Medicine, or EIM, is an international group that seeks to promote exercise as preventative medicine.
Exercise medicine is the trying to get all the healthcare professionals, such as doctors and other people such as chiropractors, to be able to refer healthcare professionals such as personal trainers to be able to prescribe exercise as medicine instead of just giving them a prescription to fill at your local drugstore.
The EIM club at NAIT wants to demonstrate the benefits of exercise, and club members talk about how to reach out to the NAIT community.
When you go to the gym and you see the person that is that little bit overweight, or the person that's holding the really, really small barbells in their hand and dumbbells, that is the best thing to see ever. Help them and encourage them because they've done the work. They've made the steps to get to that point.
Wallace has come from a place of being overweight and has found increasing the number of steps in a day, adding basic exercises like push-ups and hand weights, can start people feeling better. orgsync.com has information about the club, its events, and contact info. Jennifer Ray, NAIT News Watch.
For the most part, NAIT athletics have wound down here.
Yeah, that's right. It was a heartbreaking end to the NAIT Ooks men's hockey season. Taylor, you were there. Tell us all about it.
Guys, let me tell you, Game 3 of the ACAC men's final was an absolute barn burner. The roller coaster of events this past weekend for the NAIT Ooks men's hockey team, coming in as the top seed into the ACAC finals against Edmonton rival, the Grant MacEwan Griffins. It was a packed house for this one at NAIT as two heavyweight teams squared up for an anything-can-happen deciding game for all the marbles. NAIT sporting their blues, while MacEwan had on their white aways. Picking up in the first period here where the game was played defensively sound with very little mistakes by both sides, not giving up much room to each other. A couple of turnovers each way would lead to a few scoring chances, but all were denied by both teams' goaltenders. The score would remain 0-0 after one period of action with 8 shots apiece. But 8 minutes into the second now, MacEwan defenseman Matthew Wasilenko with a nifty through feed to Cameron Gotis in the high slot, who will rifle one on net to beat goaltender Brendan Jensen. The Griffins drawing first blood in this one, but 3 minutes later on the power play, Tyler Jaworski blasts one from the point to even things up at 1 apiece. The game is only beginning here with a minute left in the second. Jordan Apt throws a harmless wrister on net that finds its way through past MacEwan goalie Marc-Olivier Daigle into the net, giving the home side Ooks a 2-1 lead heading into the third. After Cameron Brzezinski potted a shorthanded marker to extend the Ooks lead to 3-1 halfway into the final frame, the game seemingly looked over until Gotis would find his second tally of the game on the power play, giving life to the Griffins with roughly 8 minutes left to play. And then with just 55 seconds left, the unthinkable. The final frame, net empty. Nolan Yaremchuk would slide one through the wickets of Jensen, knotting this incredible story up at 3-3 headed into overtime. And the MacEwan fans on hand were bonkers. And in the extra frame, the unthinkable underdog story comes to a close with this.
Here's a chance, and they just rip it high over the net, bounces in front, they score! The MacEwan Griffins are your ACAC champions! Brett Naw with a huge goal, the upset is over, the Griffins have won in overtime!
Yes, that's Brett Naw netting the winner, and the Grant MacEwan Griffins skate off with their first ACAC championship since 2004. It was a great time to be a NAIT Ooks women's basketball player this season as NAIT hosted nationals here on home court. Last Thursday to Sunday, NAIT held the CCAA Women's Basketball Nationals. 8 teams were involved, including our very own 8th-seeded NAIT Ooks. Headed into the national tournament as an underdog, the Ooks women's team felt no pressure to just come out and just play their game. On day 1, they took down the #1 seed in the nation, the Humber Hawks, an upset that would help lead our 8th-seeded Ooks to the bronze medal game against, guess who? The Humber Hawks again. Unfortunately for the home Ooks, they dropped the bronze medal game as the Humber Hawks wouldn't lose to the Ooks girls again. A very impressive run by the lowest seed in the tournament nonetheless. The national championship game featured the #5 seed Dawson Blues going up against Alberta's own 3rd seed Lethbridge Kodiaks. The Lethbridge Kodiaks would come out on top in that one, taking home ultimate national glory and a great story heading into the tournament as the #3 seed. Dodgeball, a fun game played in elementary and junior high gym or with your buddies. But have you ever thought of it as a sport with meaningful implications? Dodgeball Edmonton hosted a local tournament that doubled up as a regional tryout for Dodgeball Canada. Yes, that's right, I said Dodgeball Canada. Teams competed in the tournament to try and solidify a top seed position in order to qualify for the national championship tournament and tryout in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Teams competed in the tournament with a minimum of 6 players and a max of 8, and it was a good old elimination dodgeball style. Fury of 1,000 balls took home the tournament and dominated the event. If you're looking to find your missing soccer fix from the long winter, FC Edmonton is set to be back in action in no time. FC Edmonton is currently in their preseason swing as they are playing friendlies over in Manchester. The team will be back here in Edmonton next week to resume training camp and preparing for their season. The spring season starts for our home team on April 2nd as they travel to Jacksonville to take on Armada FC on the road. The home and home mini series continues on to Edmonton, where they will host their home opener 6 days later on the 8th, again against Armada FC. As for the combined spring and fall season last year, FC Edmonton finished third with a record of 15 wins, 8 draws, and 9 losses. They'll be hoping to continue the winning into this season. This week for my End Zone Challenge, I took a shot at a growing workout trend, CrossFit, a mix of strength training and stamina.
First, we started with a dynamic warm-up to loosen up some muscles and avoid injuries.
Good. There we go.
Then, we were on to some basic lifting.
I want to keep my elbows up as high as I can. If I drop my elbows, when I drop into that front squat, the weight's going to pull me forward. So that weight back and pressing up at the top. So keep those elbows tall and pressing through. And my head can come back through the window, belly nice and tight.
Capped off with some pull-ups, tires, and stones.
Wide grip on the bar, so about shoulder width, full grip. I want to maintain a nice hollow body position and chin up. I'll get you. Nice. As I press up, step and kick. So from here, hands underneath, all the way up to the shoulder. And then, nice controlled drop, okay? Good, nice.
So a big thank you to Clayton of Capital City Athletics. Maybe my career isn't done yet. I got a big hockey season next year, and Clayton's definitely helping me improve my game, so thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem.
You know, I haven't worked out in a while, but actually going to that gym actually kind of gave me the motivation to get back into a workout routine.
Well, it looks like a difficult workout. I know I definitely couldn't flip a tire.
Yeah, you say you haven't worked out in a while. I can tell your old man hobble you've been rocking the last couple of days.
Coming up after the break, we're horsing around with a local charity.
Quine Center to see what a day of volunteering is like.
It's not for profit and community, and we welcome anybody, and it's a lovely place to be.
After the break, we're going to be taking a look at NAIT's next top model, and then we're going to be taking a look at a movie release next week, and then we're going to take a look at a play that MacEwan is holding that ends tonight at 7:30. All this after the break in entertainment.
NAIT News Watch jackets provided by Smeal GM Whitecourt and Elite Sportswear.
Hair services provided by Rock Salon and Spa.
Music provided by Martin Mayer Productions.
This week for In the Community, we went down to the Whitemud Equine Center.
We got off our high horse and got a little dirty. The center boards 35 lesson horses, mostly older in age, that range in size from Mr. Big to Little Fluffy. The center is a not-for-profit organization that depends on community involvement, donations, and their Support a Horse program. We got to see a glimpse of what a volunteer's day would look like at the stable. We wasted no time getting to know the horses and their diets. We scooped poop and mucked stalls, just some of the daily duties while caring for the horses. We also got to groom and feed Coco, one of the lesson horses. Linda Tennyson has been working at the center since 1996 and is always looking for volunteers.
Generally, the volunteers need to be 18 years of age or older, and those ones that just come in and aren't part of our program here, they start out either mucking stalls and sweeping, and then they'll progress to being able to handle the horses. It's not for profit and community, and we welcome anybody, and it's a lovely place to be.
If you'd like to get involved, you can visit welca.ca for more information.
Hey, wasn't NAIT's next top model this week?
Yeah, I saw a bunch of posters around campus, and I'm pretty sure Ethan actually went to the event.
I was at NAIT's Next Top Model, but first, MacEwan's production of the completely sold-out musical play, Into the Woods, will be playing tonight at 7:30.
Into the woods, and out of the woods, and out before dark.
Into the Woods is basically a mashup of a whole bunch of fairy tales, including characters from Jack and the Beanstalk, Rapunzel, Cinderella, and they're all put into one musical, which has won several Tony Awards since it was first performed in 1987.
So it's about the consequences of your dreams and wishes, actually getting what you want. So that, like, the tagline for the musical is, you know, be careful what you wish for.
Into the Woods is the last of 3 performed each semester. So if you want to see some young talent performed, well, you're going to have to wait until next fall. NAIT's 7th annual Next Top Model was crowned Thursday evening. This year, all the 10 chosen contestants had to use only clothing purchased from Value Village, forcing them to come up with some surprisingly fashionable outcomes. The judges vote on 5 categories: overall appearance, personality, poise and charm, style and creativity, and the audience's reaction.
I just want to do on the side for fun because I love fashion, but I also want to continue my career as an engineer because I love science too.
Miriam Jabril!
Winner Miriam Jabril dazzled the judges with her outfit, and she hopes to continue a path in fashion, but also wants to focus on becoming a petroleum engineer. You know, if there's 2 words that will make me watch a movie, it's Scarlett Johansson.
This is Major. I'm on site.
Ghost in the Shell is the movie adaptation of its Magna series counterpart. It's a science fiction crime drama with loads of fight scenes and crazy robot action from the looks of the preview.
You are the first of your kind, but you're not invulnerable. Maybe next time you can design me better.
You can win 2 tickets to go see Ghost in the Shell if you answer this question correctly and tweet the answer and mention it to NAIT News Watch's Twitter page. The question is, what was Scarlett Johansson's first movie role? Make sure to tweet and mention that to win your prize. From models to movies, well, that's all I got this week for you guys.
Well, I can't believe how great that modeling was.
Yeah, it really impressed me.
Yeah. Well, have a great evening, everyone.
Thanks for joining us.